of creating and understanding everything when it comes to your entire financial portfolio, on top of the BYOB movement, on top of the vision of impacting 1 million families by empowering them and educating them. You have someone that's leading the charge with that, hailing all the way from amazing city of Tampa, Florida, knows how to have a lot of fun, but really, really, truly, 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 and I can't emphasize that enough, loves helping people. So without any further ado, I'm going to turn the call over to our coach and our mentor, none other than Dr. Craig Bythewood. Dr. Bythewood, are you on the line?
Yes, I am, Mr. Rogers. I really appreciate that. I hope everyone is having a great evening. Happy Tuesday to you, this last day in April. I think that, I share in the sentiment that has been expressed in how happy and proud I am of who we are and what we're doing. So let me give you my little twist on why I'm so proud right now. So I understand how sensitive people are about movies being spoiled. So I will only give you a small tidbit just to make my point. My oldest daughter asked me to take her to see the Avengers yesterday. And so I did so. And there's a scene in the movie, again, I'll give you just a small microcosm. There's a scene in the movie where a particular female hero has a particular task to do. And so someone asked her, "Are you sure you're up to it?" And when they asked her that, then all of the other female heroes that were in the movie all appeared and stood next to her and stood with her and said she has help. So it was really powerful because they didn't say anything about women. They didn't mention women. They didn't make a particular statement about women, but it was obvious that this scene was designed for us to show that women are heroes too, and women are leaders too. And when you get them all together at one time, it's very powerful. So when my daughter and I were talking about the scenes in the movie that we thought were the most powerful, we both specifically called that out. So I say all that to say this. That reminds me of Tasha M. Dyer. Because one of the things that we decided early on as a leadership group is that Ms. Dyer was going to aggressively let young ladies who come into our business understand that there's a woman or women empowerment movement. And it just so happens that in this scene that I keep talking about, this woman hero was one of the central figures in the entire movie. So although Tasha M. Dyer is part of the women empowerment group in IML and the Be Your Own Bank movement, she's one of the central figures in this movie. And I'm just extremely proud, being the father of 3 daughters, being the subject of being raised by a single mom. I've always had an affinity for female leadership. And I just want to pause and let her know how proud I am of her. And although I consider myself to be a superhero, I'm acknowledging how central a figure she is in this Avengers movie, in this Be Your Own Bank movement. So thank you, Tasha M. Dyer, for being the role model. And I've already told my daughters about this accomplishment. So I'm just very proud of you, and I'm very glad to be part of the team. So just know how proud Dr. B is of you at this moment. So with that in mind, you regular superheroes, or let me change that to we regular superheroes, let's do what we can do to continue to build up our power, to continue to build up our strength so that we can continue to grow in wealth, to grow in abundance, to continue to control the economic infrastructure because we are our own bank. I've been particularly happy with how everyone has been respecting the power of the unmuted mic. There have been some really good questions over the last 2 weeks or so, and I want us to keep that momentum going. So let me pause for a second and remind you my analogy about the economic pie. The foreign exchange market is a very important slice. The foreign exchange market is a $5.3 trillion slice. That's huge. And then, of course, when we add the cryptocurrency piece to our investment slice, now we're talking about in excess of $11 trillion a day. That's a huge slice. But the entire personal financial pie, the entire economic pie consists of items like banking, credit cards, taxes, insurance, retirement plans, estate planning, etc. These are the types of real estate, mortgages. These are the types of items that we all are responsible for dealing with. And as CC Ramsey was asking all those really good investment questions where it was obvious she really wanted to master the strategy and master the nuances of the strategy, and questions like that are always, to me, just the best types of questions to ask. Quick sidebar. In my non-IML life, which, trust me, is becoming smaller and smaller in my view, I teach classes and I teach online classes. So one of the things I do to offset the fact that I'm teaching in an asynchronous environment is I give every student my cell phone number. And of course, the cell phone number doesn't shut off when the class is over. It's life. It's my way of networking and bridging the gap between the knowledge base and those who want to learn and the asynchronicity of the online environment. So long story short, I get calls a lot from students who kind of worry. You know, what about this? What about that? What if this happens? What if that happens? And I explain to them that every single time I get a call from someone who asks questions like you always get A's. 25 years, these are all A questions. And when I say that, it just kind of makes their shoulders go down. And it's true, because people who care enough to ask those type of small, nitty gritty, let me get it, let me understand the infrastructure, what's the backstory, how does this work? People who ask those kind of questions, they care, and therefore they put in the effort and the work, and they always get results. This is not a 80%, 90% study, it's 100%. So that reminded me of CC Ramsey. Now understand, the example I'm giving are about worrying students. CC wasn't worrying at all. She was just getting her knowledge on. But my point is, I really admire those types of questions because it is correlated to positive results. So if you're the type of person who has questions like that may be different from CC Ramsey's, but you have yet to get to the point where you feel comfortable, just, like I say all the time, she's a perfect example. She started off slow. She started off a little tentative about asking questions. Now she's like, well, this is CC Ramsey, and this is my question, now here's my next question. That's how you have to be. You have to walk in your swag because it's your opportunity to master this information. So with that in mind, questions, comments, testimonies about any of the slices of the economic pie. Foreign exchange investing, cryptocurrency investing, anything else in the slice. Questions, comments, testimonies, honoring and respecting the power of the unmuted microphone. Questions, comments, testimonies. So, what I would like to talk about tonight, and know that what I want to talk about is secondary to the question that may come up between now and the end of this call. So don't say to yourself, oh, well, he's talking, so I won't ask him. Anything I have to say can be said later or it can be said Thursday. Please know that your questions come first. So I started this call talking about how proud I am of Tasha M. Dyer. But Tasha M. Dyer also said some things tonight that I thought were pretty powerful because she meant those phrases in one way, but I actually am interpreting them in a different way. Now, which one of our perspectives are right? They're both right. That's the beauty of the duality of meaning, that you can have one word, one phrase, one situation that means one thing to one person, that means something else to some person, or can mean double entendre. It can mean two things to one person. So she said something that just really, really stuck with me. So before I actually tell you the phrase that Tasha M. Dyer, female superheroine said, I want you to think about something. I talk so much on a Talk with the Finance Doctor about mindset. I oftentimes tell you that the knowledge is important, the application of knowledge is important, the educational platform is important, the practicing of trading, the demoing, all of that is extremely important. But to me, all of those variables rest on the foundation of mindset. Where is your head? How are you feeling? What are you believing? I taught a class on Monday night that was called Personal Development, how to have the right mindset for success. And it actually was a 45-minute pre-class to describe, almost a commercial, so to speak, for the 12-module class that I'll be teaching on energy, positive mindset, etc. So the gentleman that is the director of the program that I'm teaching this for said he was very interested in this material and he was interested in seeing if it added any value. He said it kind of snarkily, like, let's see if this adds value kind of thing. And he's a very educated, very adequate, results-oriented person, but he tends sometimes to walk in a heavy energy. So I was actually excited about the opportunity to teach this class in front of him. So he made some comments in the beginning about it, and then when the class was finished, he said this. You know, at first I was wondering where you were going with all of that, but it was pretty good. And he said, you know, I've heard all that before, so it's nothing new, whatever. Now hear me. His take on my class is not about me versus him. What it's about is the way in which we sometimes as humans carry some beliefs that may allow us to make the journey a little more challenging than it has to be. So one of the main points that I was making in my class on Monday night was this. If you follow these steps, if you follow these principles, if you walk in this mindset, life will be easier. The journey will be smoother. You'll get to the same place, but you'll do it in a peaceful, stress-free, easier manner. When I finished saying that, his response to me was, blah, 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 but it's really hard. Blah, 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 it's really challenging. Blah, 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 it's going to be very hard. And so I posed this to him, that do you realize that you just said that it's hard or challenging 5 times? And he didn't believe me. Well, I didn't say that. So I said, well, aren't we recording this session? He said, yes. I said, well, why don't you rewind it? So he rewound it and sure enough heard himself say it's challenging or it's hard 5 times. So I say all that to say this. I use as an example in the class the iceberg, the image of the iceberg. If you Google iceberg and put images, you'll see the surface. I've talked about this in this call before. The iceberg's at the top, 20% of it is at the top of the water, and then the large 80% chunk is at the bottom of the water, unseen to the eye. And I use that as an example for our conscious mind, what's on the surface, And our subconscious mind was below the surface. And the subconscious mind oftentimes takes over and houses memories and beliefs and experiences that drive the way in which we process information, but we don't realize it because it's subconscious. We don't realize it because it's underwater, which was why he was so quick to say, I didn't say it was hard 5 times, but he did. In fact, when he rewound it, he found out he actually said it 6 times. I missed one. So I said all that to say this. We are in an exciting time right now. We are about to hit another paradigm in our ability to be able to master this IML educational platform and be able to put ourselves on the other side of wealth and abundance. We're about to cause a generational transfer because our children will watch us trade in markets that we did not even know we had the ability to be able to participate in. And we're going to do it because of this collective energy we're walking in every Tuesday and Thursday. We're going to do it successfully, and we're going to do it easily, and we're going to win. We're going to win. So I said all that to say this. Unknown, let me change that to little known spiritual principle. Little known spiritual principle. God loves us so much that anytime we have a goal and we decide to get committed to something, all of those things that are in our life, all the things that are in our energetic field, all the things that are in our subconscious, all of the qualities, attributes, scenarios, and situations that are in the way of us getting to that goal, the universe sends it into our experience so we can see it. And we think the bottom is falling out because we just made this goal. But in reality, the bottom is just showing itself to us so we can navigate through all those growth opportunities. I didn't call them problems. I didn't call them issues. We can navigate through all those growth opportunities and get to where we need to go. So I just want you to pause for a second and think about how many times in your life you started something new and all kind of crap started happening. And you stopped because you thought it was about the crap. But now I'm revealing to you that it wasn't about the crap. It was about you being shown the situations that have to be moved out of the way, that have to be addressed so you can get to your goal. What does this have to do with what our superheroine, Miss Tasha M. Dyer, said? All she was doing was breaking down the strategy. All she was doing was teaching us the skill set. All she was doing was training us in how to master these tools so that we can trade to the best of our ability. All the superheroine was doing was putting us in the best position to take this knowledge that we're getting from the IML educational platform and applying it in a winning, consistent way. That's all she was doing. But this is what the superhero said. She said, we do not move the market, we simply ride the wave. We do not move the market, we simply ride the wave. So of course she's right. Of course that's accurate. Of course she was talking about the market. But what if we took the word market out and we changed it to situations? We changed it to people that get on our doggone nerves. What if we changed it to people that we're having struggles with? What if we changed it to challenges? What if we changed it to emergencies? What if we changed it to people at our job that rub us the wrong way? What if we changed it to referees at the games that our children play? What if we changed it to how our children can be sometimes. What if you took the word market out and replaced it with whatever is happening in your life right now that may be causing you any type of discontent? What if you took the word market out and replaced it with whatever is getting on your nerve? You do not move what gets on your nerve. You just ride the wave. So what this is really saying is we are not responsible for what happens to us, but we are 100% responsible for how we react. Are we going to ride the wave? Are we going to be smooth and easy? Because think about it. The bigger the situation is, the bigger the wave. But are we going to ride it, or are we going to let it drown us? Are we going to, or better yet, are we going to do what many of us do? I said us. What many of us do is we try to move what we don't like. I don't like this. Let me get it out of my experience. And you know, she said something else. The superheroine said this. I wrote it down. She said it too. She said, write it down, take your notes. That's how she talks. So she said this. This is all we need. These things, those things that we do not need, let's erase them. I know she was talking about the strategy. She was talking about the different stochastics and the different indicators that she didn't need. But she also said in this subconscious message that she was sending to us, she said, this is all you need. Meaning that this perspective of understanding that having the right mindset, no matter what is going on, being happy and peaceful and being accepting with what's going on, and instead of pushing against those things you don't like, just ride the wave. That's all you need. And those things that you do not need, you can erase them. You just take them out of your strategy. But wait a minute, Dr. B, how can I do that? If this person is at my job and their cubicle's right next to mine, how can I erase them? Because right now, you're trying to move the person. You're trying to move how they act. You're trying to move what they do. But if instead you just ride the wave, then you look up and they're not phasing you anymore. Here's a technique I've done for life coaching clients in the past. Person in the cubicle next to them is bothering them. And they have in their mind all the things that are wrong with that person. Take out a piece of paper, client, and I want you to write that person's name at the top of the list, top of the paper, they do. Then I say, I want you to write 10 things that you like about that person. Now, you know how long it takes them to write number one. But once they write down number one, then number two comes pretty quickly. Now, boom, 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 boom. Now they have 10 things on their list. It is impossible to be upset and thankful at the same time. Those two energies do not operate. You have to get out of one into the other. You got to take off your anger hat and put on your thankful hat. So if I'm making you focus on the things you like about the person in that cubbyhole, then suddenly you're not in a position to be able to get mad. And how do I know that's true? I know it's true because I know that it works. But when I'm really mad at someone and I want to stay mad, I pretend I don't know about this technique. I pretend that I don't know that all I have to do is write 10 things about that person that I like. And depending on how strong the market is you're trying to move, then maybe you have to write more. Maybe it has to be 20. Literally, I did this process for someone that I was having an issue with. And by the time I finished, I had 45 things on there. Why did I have so many? Because I had to keep going until I passed the point of trying to move them out of my experience until I was ready to just ride the wave. Think about the things that are going on in your life right now. Think about those things that are going on in your life that are in the way. Those things that you're putting in your strategy that don't belong. Those indicators that you're including in what you do on a daily basis that don't belong. You know that they don't belong because they don't feel good. So those situations that you're dealing with right now, that you're giving too much energy to, that you're paying attention to, that you're trying to move, think about them and just ride the wave. Here's another way for you to look at this point I'm making about having the right mindset to win. Feeling good as we trade, feeling good as we learn, taking life's challenges and realizing that they're just growth opportunities, riding the wave instead of trying to move the market. Here's a perfect example. There was a couple, and this couple had an RV, a recreational vehicle. And they decided that they wanted to take their recreational vehicle and they wanted to drive from Phoenix, Arizona to San Diego, California. So the couple with the RV was in Phoenix. They wanted to go to San Diego. If you've ever looked at a map of that part of the country, you will see that there's pretty much a straight shot between Phoenix, Arizona and San Diego, California. However, there's a great deal of desert in between those two things. There's a great deal of desert between Phoenix, Arizona and San Diego, California. So what the couple decided to do was to put their navigation on San Diego, California, and then begin their trek from Phoenix, Arizona to San Diego, California in their RV using the navigation system. So as they began to travel from Phoenix to San Diego, they noticed something very interesting. As the navigation system began to malfunction due to there not being cell coverage in those desert areas, if the navigation malfunctioned, they found themselves going backwards, back to Phoenix. But then when the navigation system would kick in and it would work correctly, then it would direct them towards San Diego. The navigation system's not working, Phoenix. The navigation system's working, San Diego. What is your point, finance doctor? My point is that Phoenix, Arizona is an analogy for where you are right now, your present situation. San Diego, California is where you want to go. It represents your desires. It represents your plans. It represents your ability, your objectives of reaching the wealth and abundance that we know we can get from this IML Academy, from this BYOB movement. Phoenix, Arizona, where are you? San Diego, California, where do you want to go? The navigation system represents your emotions. Your emotions are your navigation system. When your navigation system is working, you feel good. You're riding the wave. No matter what's happening, no matter what's going on, you can use the indicator of your emotions to know that you are moving towards your goals because you feel good. You have all the right indicators in your strategy because you're moving towards your desires. But if your emotions indicate that you feel bad, that means you're trying to move the market. That means you're focusing on low vibration things like anger and jealousy and judgment and fear and anxiety and worry. Look at your word choice. Look at the way in which you're talking. Are you saying it's easy or are you saying it's hard? But it is hard. It's not about whether it's hard or not, because the human brain does not know the difference between imagination and reality. That's why people have died in virtual reality glasses. It doesn't know the difference. So if you think it's hard, it will be hard. If you think it's easy, it will be easy. So if you feel good because you're focusing on high vibration items and you riding the wave, like Tasha Dyer said, you're moving toward your goals. But the moment you decide to try to move the market, to push against what you don't like, to focus on what you don't like, how many people did you call and tell them what that person did to you? And every time you tell that story, you lock it in and you're going right back to where you've been. You're going right back to the past patterns. You're going right back to staying where you are. But that's not what we're doing, because the superhero already told us we're riding the wave, going to San Diego. Thank you very much. And I will turn this call back over to our host.
Dr. B, wow. Powerful, powerful call. And ladies and gentlemen, that's what this is all about. That's what this Talk with the Finance Doctor is all about. Do you see how this evening has been power packed? How has this information been tied together? Because on the first call, our BYOB tools training, you learn how to enhance your skill set of trading. And then on the Talk with the Finance Doctor, we learn how he took that information and he enhanced. So you understand why you're trading, why you're doing what you're doing, and now you're in a position to win. And that is why and how we are impacting 1 million families. 28 March 2021. That's how this is happening. And I am excited because it just keeps getting better. The Trade Expo was such a success. We're doing it again. May the 18th, Jacksonville, Florida. Save the date. Make sure you're here. Make sure you're in attendance. Put it on your calendar. Plan to be here. But even better, not even better, because it's all about development. July the 20th, make sure you're pre-registered. The Leadership Training Conference, the Leadership Conference, BYOBchallenge.net, the website, get registered. Get registered. You want to make sure that you're registered. Right now is the early bird special. So you want to make sure you're registered. This is not an event that you want to miss. You want to make sure you're in attendance. Also, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just excited to know where this BYOB movement, where the BYOB challenge is taking us. So with that being said, we just talked about riding the wave, ride the momentum, ride the wave, enroll, learn the skill set, put yourself in profit, and this is going to help you do that. Ride the wave. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you Thursday. Thursday evening, we have our BYOB tools training.
One more announcement.
Oh, I'm sorry.
One more announcement.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, this is Gerald D. Rogers, folks. I just wanted to make sure that we capture the essence of, as Dr. Bythewood so eloquently talking about the emotions controlling our GPS. So starting tomorrow, May the 1st, I'm going to encourage everyone to join me on our mental fast. We want to make sure that our minds are operating, we're moving toward our destiny and riding the wave. And it all starts with our mental understanding. So those 5 foundational books that we encourage, make sure that you have digested those starting May 1st. The first book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. We're always talking about recalibrating, putting the best information so that we can respond to every circumstance, every situation properly. Secondly, how to win friends and influence people. Because what we are, the information we have, it's all about understanding how to share this dynamic with our friends, neighbors, and relatives, how to properly expose people to the information. And all of this is designed, the more we work on us, the easier it is for us to want to share with boldness, with confidence, with our friends, neighbors, and relatives, how to win friends and influence people by Andrew Carnegie. Cash flow quadrant. We really need to understand from a systematic standpoint, as things are evolving, how it's our responsibility, because we've ascertained this tremendous information, giving us the right understanding how to communicate it with those individuals, how to relate it to those individuals that are in our sphere of influence. And yes, my first year in network marketing, yes, you need to go to a place of appreciation, of wanting to know how to increase, how to establish profit centers, how to create distribution. Yes, it is okay. And just for those of you who may be reluctant or having not the necessary understanding, everyone you know on the planet is involved in direct sales. Everyone on the planet is involved in network marketing. Why do I say that? Well, simply, if you have ever worn or adorned yourself with any type of name brand paraphernalia, yes, you have become a walking billboard for that entity. All we're simply suggesting to you is, because you now gain this information that is legacy lifting, that is life changing, we want to put you in the right position mentally to know why you have a fiduciary responsibility to expose your friend, neighbors, and relatives to this information. And then lastly, of course, the success of God's term, the foundation, creating win-win situations. And then just so for those of you who don't know, we also have an opportunity, and you'll get an opportunity to experience this in future talks with the finance doctor. Dr. Bythewood himself has a chapter in Success on God's Terms entitled The Hunter and the Lion. So, folks, we're talking about equipping, we're talking about expanding, we're talking about empowering, and then giving you the ability to expand your power base, because mentally you become astute. So I wanted to make sure for those of you, if you want to see a difference in your life, you want to see a difference in your business, you want to see a difference in your trading experience, join me as we pursue for the month of May, May the 1st through May 31st, making sure that not only are you have read those books, and if you read them, reread them, it needs to be a part of your subconscious so that you can operate at a level of excellence as you are continually becoming your chief executive officer. Wanted to make sure that we understood this, the importance of our mental fast. So once again, join with me, be a part of it as we impact 1 million families, March 28th, 2021. Back to you, Ms. Stein.
Thank you so very much. The mental fast, it starts tomorrow. The time is now. So tomorrow, I was going to say Thursday, join us, but tomorrow, join us for the mental fast. Let's get started tomorrow. It's all about what you do. It's all about you. Everything starts with your mindset. And then on Thursday, our BYOB tools training, followed immediately by a talk with the finance doctor. I'm joining the mental fast, and I will also be here on Thursday. I'm excited. I'm excited about where we're headed. I'm excited about the lives that are being changed. I'm excited for you, each and every last one of you all on this call. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, you all have a wonderful and blessed evening, and this will officially conclude this call.